But what the Prophet ﷺ is indicating in this hadith is that every one of us has potential. Now some of us will develop into gold, and others will be silver. But the key to unlocking that potential is correct understanding. Correct understanding of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what made the Sahaba realize their potential. And that is what made them the giants that we are talking about. And that's why we reflect on their lives. Because they were able to, at the hands of the Prophet ﷺ, unlock that potential with the correct understanding. And some of the scholars defined that generation as the Quranic generation. Because they were nourished on the Quran. As it was being revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ educated them with it and developed their understanding. And the Prophet ﷺ said, my brothers are those who will come after you. So the Sahaba were complaining, aren't we your brothers? So he said, no, my brothers are those who will follow in my footsteps, but they did not see me. So to answer the question, why doesn't the Quran have the same effect today on our lives? Just two comments. The first is by William Ewart Gladstone. He was 4-time Prime Minister of Great Britain. And he is famous for telling the British Parliament, and this is what he said to the British Parliament. He said, as long as the Quran exists, Europe will never be able to conquer the Islamic East. As long as the Quran exists, Europe will never be able to conquer the Islamic East. Similarly, the French colonial governor of Algeria said, on the occasion of the 100 years of French occupation of Algeria, he said, it is a must to remove the Arabic Quran from their presence, and to remove the Arabic language from their tongues in order for us to have victory over them. So they understood the keys to our success.
Are we not physically meant to be sick when our brothers and sisters are in pain? And are we not physically and mentally meant to be tortured when our brothers and sisters are being tortured? Why is it that they are in difficulty and we feel ease? Why is it that they're in difficulty and we have no difficulty in our lives? There must be something wrong, my friends. It is as Rasulullah ﷺ had said in authentic hadith in Bukhari. Verily the example of believers is like a body. When one part of the body gets sick, then the rest of the body compensates for it by what? With pain and with temperature. And this is exactly what I saw, subhanAllah, being enacted in life with one of our scholars of Islam, Shaykh Ibrahim Surti, rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah, hafidhahullah. Is why did the pious predecessors love each other so much? Why did they love each other so much? What was the reason behind it? The first reason why they loved each other so much is because they understood that brotherhood is a means to having true iman. Brotherhood is the means of having true iman. Rather, it is a precondition to having iman itself. The Prophet ﷺ said in the authentic hadith in Bukhari, he said, none of you will enter Jannah until you believe. And none of you will truly believe until you love each other. You will not enter Jannah until you believe. We know that's the case. But did you know you will not believe until you love each other? Who is there that they can say that, Wallahi, I love every Muslim, no matter who it is? Who is there that can say, I go to sleep tonight and every single night and have nothing in my heart against any believer? Tell me, are you one of those who can say that? By Allah, swear by Allah, ask yourself this question. Are you one of those who can truly say, I have nothing in my heart? When Shaykh Ibn Baz rahimahullah was asked this question, why is it that everyone loves you, including your enemies love you? Why is it that they love you? Ultimately, he would stop and think, and then he would look and say, Wallahi, I can think of nothing except when I go to sleep at night, I have nothing in my heart against any person. Tell me truthfully by Allah, are you able to have this feeling? If you're not, then your brotherhood and your love is incomplete. And if your brotherhood is incomplete, then your iman is incomplete. And if your iman is incomplete, then your key to Jannah is still incomplete.
being fair. Being fair with, and you know that in the hadith of the 7 under the shade of the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal, one of them is a fair imam, a fair leader, or a ruler, or someone in charge, but he's fair, he's just. So many times we see people unfair in all kinds of spheres. They take care of the people in charge of the masjid. Sometimes unfair. The board of the masjid, always unfair. Okay, we have board problems in America. They're always unfair in America. A father at home, you have the opportunity to be fair in how you deal with your children, fair in how you deal with your wives. I love multiple wife jokes. My wife is not here, so I can confidently joke about this topic. But when people want Islam, no one wants to be fair with everyone else in their treatment of other people. I want Islam when it's going to get me a right from my wife. She doesn't want to hear about Islam except when Islam is going to secure her a right from her husband. So the guy who wants to marry 3, I have the right to marry 3, yes, but she also has rights upon you. Did you take care of those? So people just want what is fair to them, and they don't want to be fair to other people. So the man has this opportunity to be fair to how he treats with his wife, with his children, with the people who are working under them, or the people who are working with them. So being fair and having the sense of justice, because injustice is really ugly. It's extremely ugly. And that's why the dua of the one who is dealt with unjustly is so strong. And there isn't something between it and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
When 3 young men came to the house of the Prophet ﷺ, and they wanted to know how the Prophet ﷺ lives his life inside his household. They've seen him outside the household, but this time they wanted to know how the Prophet ﷺ is inside the household. So they came to the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. 3 young men, so enthusiastic, so motivated, they wanted to know more about the Prophet ﷺ in the household. So when they asked the wife of the Prophet ﷺ about what the Prophet ﷺ does, they were shocked, they were amazed. They thought that the Prophet ﷺ, when he goes into his house, he only says Assalamu alaikum with a dry face, grabs a corner, just prays and reads the Quran and remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does not sit down with the family, does not speak to the family, does not joke with the family. This is what they thought. But when they asked the wife of the Prophet ﷺ what the Prophet ﷺ does when he enters his house, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ said that the Prophet ﷺ walks in with a smile, sits down, talks to us, jokes with us, spends the night with us, deals with us, socializes with us. كَأَنَّهُمْ أَقَالُوهَا. In the hadith it says that those 3 young men found it too little to what they expected. The Prophet ﷺ was the best to his family. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will bring happiness. Alayhi salatu wasalam will bring happiness into the heart of his wife. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will bring a smile to the Prophet alayhi salatu will bring a smile to his wife. Who does what the Prophet ﷺ did in those days? You know that the Prophet ﷺ used to race with Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, so he could bring a smile and happiness to her. If now these days, if I walk with my wife on the street, people say, "Wallah, the Sheikh is walking with his wife." Could you imagine if I race with my wife? The whole world would be talking about it. Could you imagine if you see another Sheikh standing and saying to his wife, "On your mark, get set, go." What altar are you going to go? You're going to go on the net. You're going to go in the newspapers and everyone will be talking about it. Everyone say, "Did you see the Sheikh was racing with his wife?" Astaghfirullah. Can you imagine that? What kind of a Sheikh is he? Well, I'm telling you, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam raced with Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. The first time she defeated him. Why? Because she was newly married. She was not as chubby as the second time. The second time, the Prophet alayhi sallam defeated her and he said, "This is for the other one. This is for the other one. The first one you beat me, now I beat you. The first one you defeated me, now I defeated you." This is the quality of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who listen here and act upon what they listen here. My brothers and sisters, I'm leaving back to Sydney. I want to take this opportunity to thank the brothers and sisters from behind Mercy Mission. Special thanks to Brother Adil, Sheikh Tawfiq, Brother Ahmad, and the rest of the team from the brothers and sisters that I know and I don't know. And I thank all the brothers and sisters who attended. Wallah, it's been great to see you all. Jazakum Allah khair, and may Allah reward you.